when it comes to telesales or in-home sales, what requires more self-discipline?
Telesales.
That might be shocking. I think most people listening to this podcast would have thought it would have been the other one. Can you tell a quick why?
Because once you're out, you're out. If you're gone, the distractions are already gone. But when you're in your home, your normal everyday life is your biggest distraction.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Hey kids, welcome back to the Life Insurance Academy podcast. It's Zach and I. We are going to answer the question.
We are,
Yep. Yeah, it's a question. We get this question so many times, and we felt like it was time to address this and just nip it in the bud, as the kids say.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
You're right, Chris. I think this topic is the biggest
overdue.
question people are asking. It's also the biggest questions that existing agents and new agents alike maybe aren't asking, but they're wondering.
Yeah.
Because we know the industry has changed so much. This is a topic that is really personal to us in the sense that we have done both. And what we're here to talk about today is really being really successful in final expense sales, but in-home sales versus telesales.
Yeah. And this applies to mortgage protection as well. So final expense and mortgage protection, there's been, it feels like probably to some folks, it's been a migration. They've seen a huge migration to telesales. What does that mean? What does that look like? So we're going to be looking at it objectively.
We're going to break it down for you.
Objectively, is that right? Yes, objectively.
We're going to break it down for you. We're going to look at the pros of each, the cons of each, and what you need to start and be successful in each. And then we'll do a little fun comparison.
And a wrestling match at the end.
Between you and Adam. We can do that.
Bring it. Little Greco-Roman.
Principal Anderson over here, Billy Fast.
Dude, cut. Hard cut on that. Gosh. All right, let's roll. Let's talk about this. Where are we starting, Zach? In-home?
Yeah, let's start off with in-home sales. So when we look at selling final expense or mortgage protection in-home sales, it definitely has some advantages. For those of you that are that are currently doing in-home sales, these are the things we stick to. These are the things we fell in love with. This is something Chris and I did for many years, and we had an absolute blast doing it. And a couple of the pros is, number one, it's a lot easier to build trust with seniors. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, are you kidding me? Look what I'm working with.
Well,
Look what I'm working with.
That's true.
I don't know if I'm going to trust this guy, those little beady eyes. No, seriously though, having somebody present, they're wearing a lanyard. They have probably some marketing materials with them that are printed out from the carriers. They have a level of control and competence that they have inside of the home. So yeah, it feels like it's easier to build trust that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Another huge pro of that, which piggybacks right on that, Chris, is being able to read the body language of the client, to know if they're unsure, to know if they're confused, to know if they're emotional. And we can really adapt or change our tone or demeanor to really meet the client where they are. But the other side of that, it allows our clients to really read our body language and how comfortable we are. Because you can't be a nervous Nelly over here, or as you would say, the insecure insurance salesman, which is a really cool character you play. But being able to do that and really control that environment, we always said, when it comes to the clients that we serve, they have an extra sense. And it's really their BS meter, right? They can tell if you're genuine or not. They can tell if you care or not. And being face-to-face with people, shaking hands, hugging, being able to look them in the eye, being able to walk them through, it creates that huge positive way of building trust, reading that body language. In light of that, another huge pro for in-home sales is a very high closing ratio. Really, your goal is to really every family you have an opportunity to sit with and go through a presentation is to move them in a better position.
Yes.
And that tends to happen a lot if you really are a decent agent.
Yeah, I'd say, average agents on presentations typically 50% close ratio off of presentations, not their total leads, probably closer to 30% on total leads on an average. But once you get beyond average, you can see much higher closing ratios. Other aspect, Zach, in regards to this is controlling the environment.
Yep.
And when you're in a home, you can see what they're seeing and what they're experiencing. You can ask for the dog to go outside. You can ask the kids to leave the room, to go play somewhere else. You can grab the remote and turn it down, turn the TV down when you're with Miss Betty. You can pull up a chair next to the client and not sit across the living room. All these, man, you don't know how valuable those pieces are of a smile, of a head nod, a tap to the arm. All those, they add up to trust. I mean, a speed to trust is much. There's a lot to say about in-home face-to-face, looking over your glasses, handing them a piece of paper, them taking it out of your hand. Yeah. Like all those pieces equal a higher closing ratio in most cases.
And Chris, you're one of the best I know at this part, so I want you to speak to it a little bit. But talking about those pros and ultimately moving towards a sale, particularly in the final expense realm, we know it is an emotional sale backed by logic. So when we're looking at that, having all of these features and being able to have that strong emotional connection of face-to-face because of all the things you mentioned, controlling the environment, controlling their attention, being genuine, asking those questions, but they can't hang up. They can't distract it. They can't just watch the TV and halfway listen. They're forced to have those feelings. And what have you seen the results of that being?
Well, just, in completely different environment because their life's on display. You know, they have their pictures up of their kids.
Yes.
They have their fishing poles in the corner, you know.
Yep.
They have the memorial pieces.
Yep.
Oh, I remember sitting in a home and there was a stool off against the wall sitting by itself, and there was a hat propped up on it. It was a trucking hat and a plaid shirt along with it. This lady lived alone. And I asked her, an agent and I were doing some training, and I said, tell me a little bit about that. And it was a memorial piece from her husband. You know, he had passed away a few years ago. Meant something to her. But like I said, their lives, we're acknowledging them, but based on what we're seeing, we're there with them, and they're on display. They're excited about their sunflowers. Oh my goodness! I still have a client call me and send me pictures about their sunflowers from 6 years ago.
It's funny you say that. I was just looking through my little cabinets in my office in there, and I have 2 paintings that were hand painted by clients.
Oh, wow.
You know, to learning their hobbies and getting
cool.
to know them and connecting with them on a different level, which is a huge benefit. And all of that affects closing. All of that affects relationships. All of that affects referrals.
Yeah.
And you know, it's not crazy at all to see top level agents have 90 or higher closing ratio on sits.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You said we had a blast and it was fun doing that. And I didn't know you did modeling. That's really cool to hear.
Did modeling
for the paintings?
Oh no! This was abstract, right? This was different art.
I get it. That's fair.
Yeah, right. You can. Yeah, I see what you're going there.
Are you ready to launch your insurance career? Excel Solutions is your go-to leader in life, accident, and health insurance pre-license training. Their cutting-edge e-learning platform is packed with rich content. Think interactive assessments, engaging videos, and customized learning paths, all tailored to your learning style. Being students ourselves, we've trusted Excel now for years to deliver top-notch training, offering high pass rates. Their streamlined prep review courses and the exam simulator are really your secret weapons to nailing the state exam the very first time. Now, you thought it couldn't get any better. Well, it just did. Life Insurance Academy listeners, you receive an epic 50% discount, reducing the regular course fee from $199 to only $99. So, all you have to do is use partner code LIA at liapodcast.org/Excel. Now, Excel spells XCEL. So don't think about it any longer. Dive headfirst into your insurance career with Excel Solutions' premier pre-license training with that exclusive 50% discount just for you. Get the code, get licensed, and excel in your insurance career.
So when we're talking about in-home sales, let's talk about some of the cons, right?
And unfortunattheely, there's cons.
There's cons to everything. There's pros and cons, and it's all depending on who you are. But a couple things. The first and foremost one is the travel time and the cost associated with that, right?
Yeah.
So we're talking about what we used to experience is we would drive sometimes 2 to 4 hours away from our homes. We would sometimes stay in hotels. So you have hotel cost, you have car maintenance, you have gas. Felt like you're doing an oil change every month. So you have the wear and tear and the tires. You rack up hotel points, which can be a benefit, but some of that can create some inefficiencies when it comes to that, because when you are traveling and you are going out in these different areas, depending on if you're setting appointments, but you can have a lot of no-shows or what we call appointments that don't show up, disappointments.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And that happens quite often. And sometimes you will find, when we talk about the inefficiency side of this, is agents will schedule out certain appointments, or we'll have somebody that says, come back around 4, and it might be around 2 or 3 o'clock, and you don't want to go knock on any other doors.
Funny. Come back at 4, 2 or 3 o'clock, not wanting to knock on a door. Man, I know that. I've seen agents do that. So now it's created this massive buffer for getting porched. We'd say porch too. That was another way we'd talk about it. But that adds up over a day. Mm-hmm. I mean, 10, 15 minutes travel time. I mean, that's probably being generous. Between stops, driving out to your base,
your
which
market,
most agents are doing pretty late.
Yep.
Driving back home, all these little pieces, and we call that windshield time. And that windshield time is can be dangerous in what's going on in your brain.
That is not said enough there. A couple other things that we're looking at as some cons of in-home sales would be limited to the territories, right? Mm-hmm. So when it comes to generating leads, if you have a big agency or a larger area, or let's say there are more agents in your area, typically you're going to be running some sort of direct mail leads or regional campaigns digitally. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you have to go further out.
Yeah, you have to expand that territory pretty dramatically, especially for digital.
Exactly.
It's 4 or 5 counties typically.
Yeah, and also expanding or building a team or building your team all in one area, you can realistically, you can only have certain amount of agents working that area, because you can't send people 6, 7, 8, 9 hours away from home. Mm-hmm. It would almost be more beneficial to hire people in other states to then create those territories for them. But you are somewhat limited on your outreach or where you are able to go when it comes to in-home sales as well.
Yeah. Another key one is, and this comes up frequently, is safety concerns, especially for new agents. I think temperature of approachability had changed during COVID, after COVID. So I've heard it from, a lot of times the question comes up for ladies when they're going out and knocking on doors, and it's daylight hours start running out pretty quick in beginning of September. It starts to change. So are you just knocking till 5? Are you wrapping up at that point? A lot of questions related to that, and then some additional insecurities that can pop up that go with that.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you are going into a home of somebody you have never met.
Yeah.
And you don't know if it's a home exactly like you grew up in, or if it's a home where somebody's kind of having a bad day.
Yeah.
And we have to have that emotional intelligence and understanding and awareness as an agent to be safe for us and anybody we're training or our other agents in the areas as well, to just always be aware and be smart of that, which is something to consider.
Yeah. And I will say that this is a tip in regards to that. If you're running with a team, and anytime we had a woman on our team who felt unsafe, we would say, give that lead, swap a lead, or do something, or maybe somebody can go with you on that specific one. But all that to say this, if you don't feel safe at a specific location, don't stay there. Don't go there.
Yep.
And that's fine. That's A-okay. I don't know what your leaders are telling you, but this is real life in 2025. So
absolutely.
Yeah, it's
so in finishing up in home sales, Chris, let's just talk briefly on the things you need to be successful, what you're looking for if you're a brand new agent, or maybe you're an agent that has done telesales in the past and you're looking for that in home sales. What we're kind of looking for is presentation materials. One thing that I used every single sit, no matter what, was a presentation flip chart.
Yeah.
I never wanted to use an iPad or anything digitally because I wanted to keep things simple and understandable for the clients that I'm serving. I wanted to kind of somewhat match them.
It's kind of an interactive thing.
Yeah, make it really interactive for them. So I'd have a presentation flip chart. I personally did a lot of paper apps with wet signatures.
You still have a fax machine.
Yep. I loved wet signatures. Even when I did the iPad, I would have the little pen to have them sign. Even if you have the option to click to sign or have them sign, I liked the mental closure. It helped with persistency to me, just of having them actually sign, which was really cool. But you have your laptop. If you have an internet thing, you might need that. Always carry extra supplies in your car. I used to carry even a mini shovel because I've had to help dig agents out of sticky situations and driveways where they would get stuck. Or so I basically had everything you could possibly need in the car at all times, which was pretty cool. But you need all those materials. In order to set appointments, you're either going to call your leads, pre-set appointments for what you're going to go out and see them, or you're simply going to take your leads, route them, put them in some type of Garmin or GPS or some type of app that is going to route them for efficiency for you. And you're simply just going to go door knock. And you're also going to ask for referrals. That's going to be kind of the flow to be really successful in face-to-face.
It's funny when you talk about it because when you're talking about like paper apps and things like that can feel kind of old school, I'm sure, to some folks. But man, I've been in territories and areas where there was no internet. I was in places where there was no phone or internet. So you got to be ready. So paper application is pretty handy at that point. Don't feel super silly doing it.
There's a reason they still have them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, 100%. And door knocking, I know some people feel strange about it, but it's highly, highly effective. Yes. It's really, I would much rather do that in final expense door knocking than setting appointments because if somebody's there, I'm going to get a sit most likely. And direct mail leads, possibly supplementing with some digital. I will say, as far as tech goes, there's a lot of really cool apps. I think there's a Road Warrior program or something like that stores your route so you don't have to be connected to the internet. It's on your phone, and then I think there are some other apps that it can remember previous leads that you didn't close, and it will pull those up in the territory that you're working from. So tech has caught up even on the door knocking space. Matter of fact, they have a a door knocker app that's a fist, and you wind it up and you can put it against the door and it will knock for you. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if it has your face, they're getting in every door. I know that for sure.
That's right.
Let's talk about telesales.
Yeah.
Let's dive into selling insurance over the phone. This could be mortgage protection. This could be final expense. But when we look at telesales, when we think about telesales, this was something that was foreign. It was weird. It was never going to be successful. The old school mindset, even that we had back before COVID, was there's no way I'm ever going to touch a phone. I'm not going to do it. I can sell about everything. I knock on this way. Why would I even go, think and consider that? And what it has developed and became has got some really cool pros. It has some cons as well that we're going to talk about, but some pros of selling over the phone. What would one of those be, Chris?
Gee whiz, the flexibility of being able to work anywhere. I mean, you could be in Cancun with your family and you're making calls a couple of days while you're on your trip.
You could be at the airport writing apps. Shout out to Elver.
Yes, I saw that actually. Yeah. Being able to do this anywhere, I would say scalability. You talked about territories. There are no territories. It's the United States.
Yes.
So there's plenty of people to call, plenty of opportunity, plenty of space in this space to for people to jump in and figure it out. So, yeah, I would say the flexibility of being able to work anywhere.
Yeah.
Being able to work from home, all that.
I would tell you a huge pro is, I'm a numbers guy. I love trying to be efficient. I try to simplify things. But when it comes to a huge pro for the telesale side is really, since there isn't any travel involved, you don't have the windshield time between homes. You don't have the drive to the market, the drive from the market, and you can only work when you're in the market because that's where your leads are. So to have that ability to have more dials, more revenue generating activity time, which translate to more presentations. Mm-hmm. Regardless of the closing, you can sit with or talk to a lot more families. You can present more presentations doing telesales than you can face-to-face. Yes, you can have a really good day face-to-face where it seems that all your leads are somewhat close or in the same town and you're sitting with every single one of them. But consistently, week after week, you're typically not going to have the availability or the comparison to be able to sit and do that many presentations in one day or 1 week than you can with telesales.
I would agree. I like that. More presentations, no travel. And another great thing about that is access to leads across the entire U.S., which includes Hawaii. Mm-hmm. Because of time zones, it really gives you the opportunity to extend your work day by 3 hours? I believe
3
it's
hours,
3 hours. Yeah. So if there's limitations on you starting earlier in the day, then you can extend that. Or if you want to have a longer work day, you can extend that as well.
And one thing for me is I've always been kind of like very prepared, very worst case scenario. How do I prevent anything from going wrong? If you're in a situation where you need money, you need revenue, you need people to talk to, you need to be able to really work and sell, having that ability with the technology of writing apps any day of the week at any time of the day, and being able to, we're on the East Coast, we're being able to call and dial early in the morning on the East Coast, and you can literally dial past almost midnight if you're dialing some of your leads on the West Coast 7 days a week. It really creates this availability to really generate whatever income your family needs to generate at any time for any reason.
Yeah. Major flexibility. And because of that, the scalability, the access to leads, the longer calling opportunities, it really does give you a good opportunity to train at scale and get people started.
And a big component on that training aspect, Chris, typically what we found was the most successful in training field agents for in the home was to put those in our passenger seat, right? To be able to sit with them, to ride with them, teach them how to door knock, teach them how to get in the home, build trust, move through presentation, close, cool down, wrap it up, ask for referrals, move on to the next. The best way to train that, again, is with them. Like, you can do a lot of pre-training, but they're going to ride with you for a week, if you a few days, ride with other people before they're up and rolling. With telesales, you can have recordings already there. You have a script training and role play you can do sitting right here, and they can listen on a dial day or a dial session with multiple agents and have all of that training access and that feedback. And other people can listen to calls. We can hear calls. We can whisper in and help them. Mm-hmm. And it's so much faster, because if we had a brand new agent on leads, they could easily talk to 7, 8, maybe 10 families in that day, right? And we can listen to them, provide coaching, or they can come to one of our boot camps where we have this, and provide that coaching right then and there, where if that was in home, we may have 3 sits to maybe even sit with them on, right?
Yeah.
Which is really, really cool.
And that's probably a question for people out there. Well, why do you guys provide these telesales boot camps and not do ride-alongs? And it's a scalability issue. I mean,
time.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pay $10,000 to be in the car, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. But yes, the issue of time, being able to be a benefit to multiple people at the same time inside of one of our boot camps, a lot more traction. However, there are cons to the telesales boot camps. The first one.
Not to the telesales boot camps. There's no cons to the telesales boot camps.
Sorry about that. Yes, the telesales it's more challenging to build trust.
Absolutely.
You have to. There's a steeper learning curve to getting to the trust factor, because you can't make some mistakes and get by with a smile or touching somebody's arm or scooting a chair next to somebody and showing a picture of your kids and seeing their kids and all that stuff. So there's a language to it. It takes some time. Older clients have been. I mean, there's a lot of scams out there that they're dealing with, and so you have to establish yourself, establish trust, and maintain it throughout the process, and that takes work.
Absolutely. We teach the principles, and trust is in the sales principles, which applies to telesales and to face-to-face. But particularly when we talk about trust, the way you build trust and when you build trust is drastically different in face-to-face versus telesales.
Yes.
Face-to-face is very much upfront, and then you move into it. Telesales is not so much. It's sprinkled in upfront, built throughout, finished strong at the end.
Yes.
When it comes with that. And understanding that art, if you're interested in that, reach out to us. We would love to help you with that transition as well. Another con, I would say, for telesales is and this is kind of different, there's a higher attrition rate. More agents fail in telesales, but the part of the reason more agents fail in telesales is because so many more agents, because it's so scalable, are able to try telesales rather than trying a face-to-face in-home sale.
Yeah, that's good.
So the barrier of entry to begin or start a career in telesales is way easier, way more available, way more flexible, and a lot cheaper and easier in time, which will also promote a higher attrition rate, for those agents to be successful and move through that.
Let's talk about that attrition rate too, because there is a reality that because the numbers are higher, like you're going to have more conversations on the phone than you would face to face during a day, right?
A lot more activity.
Yeah. So your rejections are going to be higher in one day than you ever got face to face.
Probably more than you get in a week face to face.
Probably, yeah. So you're emotionally processing that. And then it turns into emotionally for agents, they're not picking up. That feels like a rejection as well that goes along with it. So there's a learning curve to get through telesales that a lot of it has to do with commitment and emotional intelligence.
100%.
And yeah, there's more people getting into it, and that can attribute to the attrition rate. But the biggest factor is the emotion that goes along with believing the phone weighs 8,000 pounds and it's very difficult to pick up.
Absolutely. Another con we want to mention about telesales, and I don't know if this is definitely a con.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know if it's a con, but it's
more
a factor.
Of a difference, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot more emphasis on the tone that you're working with and really mastering your script. But what you're not having to do is master your body language and master the leaning in and where to sit and distractions. So it's kind of a give and take, but where if you're in the home, it doesn't really matter your tone as much. It doesn't really matter kind of how you say things as much, because if you're just a trustworthy person or a good personality or you look like Chris, you're probably going to close in the home anyway because you're in the home.
Yeah.
You have to be better and understand sales better to close in telesales.
I would agree.
Because
it's not just tone, it's pacing.
Yes.
And knowing when to slow down or speed up. That's what I refer to as pacing, or just shutting up. And then that script mastery is key.
Yeah. So Chris, let's talk about what's the tools and the setup you need to be successful in telesales. As we talked about it in face-to-face, it's a little bit different, but what do we really need in telesales?
The best tools for efficiency, because the great thing about telesales is it's already efficient. You can pick up a phone, burner number, make calls. It's tougher to do that now than it was 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
But that's more efficient than driving. Now they have additional tools like a strong CRM that has automations that are doing work that you aren't even doing. It's doing work for you on your behalf. Having dialers that are dialing multiple numbers on your behalf, call recording software for coaching that allows you to listen to your calls, debrief, be able to share with your uplines on what's really going on those sets.
The cool thing is, think about AI, right? Mm-hmm. And how fast it's growing and rapidly.
Yeah.
Like when you look at a CRM that integrates AI in it, like what we're seeing now is we can get very cheap, low buyer intent leads and a bunch of them dumped into a CRM system, right? And you can have AI interact with the clients, schedule appointments, answer questions, customer service, and move them to an appointment, almost warming the client up, warming that lead up to where it's a much easier connection and sell, which is so cool. You can't really have an AI Chris doing a door knock.
No.
But that would be
cool. It would be terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. But it's so funny, man. I mean, 10 years ago, you're saying words like AI, CRM. I mean, you get knocked out of that chair.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah, strong script, rebuttals, product knowledge is very important. Competency leads to confidence, which makes you sound more in control in the process. You have to have this down. Of course, don't wait for it to be perfect. We want somebody to know the script well enough to be able to do the script without looking at it in their calls, even from day one.
A couple obvious things you need: internet connection.
Yeah.
Right. We need a quiet location that's without distractions.
That's a big one, man.
I would say a seat belt to keep you in the seat, so you're not trying to mow the lawn, you're not trying to wash the car, pick everybody up. Like buckle
to the
down.
Fridge 18 times.
Right. And get a headset, because that phone tends to be very heavy. Mm-hmm. So get a headset. You don't have to worry about it, and you can just roll through that.
Run through your leads. All right, so let's take a look at some key metric comparisons.
Oh yeah, let's do a little fun contest.
You love
which
this.
one's better, Chris? Which one's better?
Goodness.
Right?
Yeah. Well, let's look at closing ratio. Let's start there.
Closing ratio, the point definitely goes to in-home sales. As long as you care for the clients, you're doing the right thing, you're following the sales process.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Of course.
You're gonna be closing at a 90% clip, and it's gonna be amazing. Now that clip may be short because you may only have a certain amount of opportunities, but you're gonna close about all of them.
New agents 50%, moving towards 90.
Okay.
Let's give them the
for Chris, new agents 50% getting towards 90. If you jump in our final expense course, I will get you to 90%. I promise.
There you go.
But on the other side of it, so closing ratio goes
These are per sits.
Closing ratio goes towards in-home sales, but you can sell way more with telesales. Because the amount of sits you're able to have, the amount of presentations you're able to present in a day volume. Or in a week, the volume is way higher.
You can and you can get to a 50% close rate on telesales.
You can.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's I mean, you're doing pretty good. You're making good money at that point. I think newer agents were working towards, and when I say of that number, it's of total leads there. Yeah, if you're getting I want to see an agent start to move towards 10 to 15% close ratio, and that's where we can really start to
of leads or of sits
of leads.
Of leads. That's very, very different.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about that close ratio on in-home, we're talking on sits.
Correct.
Right. Perfect.
Let's talk about cost of acquisition between telesales and
cost of acquisition. The point is going to go to telesales. The leads are going to be drastically cheaper. You have a lot more opportunities, and that's going to really lower your cost. And you kind of compare it. I mean, running direct mail leads and direct mail lead programs, or the traveling associated with that, all of that goes into an acquisition cost. I mean, you're essentially doing 4 or 5 times the amount of people than on telesales that you would
sitting
do
in your house.
Than you would do in face-to-face. I mean, the lead cost is drastically different.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say the point of that goes to telesales.
Chargebacks and lapses, this can vary. I will say from jump with new agents, probably in-home sales has the upper hand on there because of the trust building factor. I think you have to be more, and we have trainings on this, to be more intentional in your process to make sure that it sticks. One of the biggest reasons I believe this happens is because there's a sense of transfer from the agent to the client.
Yeah.
You're actually handing them something, they're opening it, they're looking at it, you're walking them through those assets. Or at least the good agents are.
Yeah.
There's some agents just
I think there's a unique perspective to this, Chris, because again, talking about the scalability and the barrier of entry of somebody doing telesales versus face-to-face, there's so many agents out there that would be more willing to attempt telesales and fail than they would ever go out and try to knock on a door, right? So that fear factor changes as well. But both of them, there's a lot of training and sales principles that you can do to mitigate that, which is really cool. The metric comparison on scalability, Chris, who wins that one?
Oh, telesales, hands down. It's the opportunity. I think people are more inclined to pick up a phone. I mean, in their heads, pick up a phone than they would be to travel and go knock on a door. I think the opportunity to scale with good training and good commitments from people, I think you can see some really cool stuff happen.
Here's a little scenario for you, because you've done both. If you've building a team for in-home sales, final expense, okay, how many people do you think you can train and get up and rolling in a month period?
Well, it depends on how many people I have in support of that system, right? So if I have 3 agents, 15, 20 people, hopefully.
But you could be overloaded.
Oh, easily. Right? Yeah. Now, if you don't have a strong concern of their success, then we can.
Well, there's a borderline of if it's training or not at that point, right?
Right.
Typically, if you have
because there's different models out there.
Okay,
right?
So an agent you care about, you're going to put them in your car.
Absolutely.
You're going to take time. You're going to move them through on a agent. You
Correct.
Personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to do telesales, how many people can you do a training for?
It's
at a quality level to move them.
I mean, we can fill a room.
Versus one passenger car seat.
Right, correct. Yeah, with our whisper mode technology and listen in on calls and have 3 trainers in there, you can do some damage. That's for sure. Okay,
here's an interesting one for you. Who wins the comparison on quality of lifestyle?
That's funny. I would put it. This is, we could leave this at a tie because right now we're 2-2. We're 2 on.
Are we?
Yeah. We have 2 for telesales and 2 for, I think so.
Well, not really. A closing ratio is a split.
Was it a split?
Well, because you have a higher ratio, but you can produce. Well, I guess you could throw higher production as a category, and it would go through the roof for telesales.
That's right. Yeah. Quality of lifestyle. I guess it depends on your preference. I will say, like, looking back as a father, I had young kids, and I was laying in bed with Cameron, and we were doing our nighttime, deal, singing songs, all that stuff. And I remember him sitting there, and he was crying because I was leaving the next day. Man, see, I feel that now, but like, it provided me a lifestyle that I was giving to my kids, and it was a great life. To me, that there's a strong advantage of the ability to stay home if you're committed.
That's the question.
That's the biggest factor that either moves this or this. Because if you're out in the field door knocking, you're going to door knock. You're going to door knock because you're already out there. But when you're home, and you haven't had that experience on both sides of it to say, man, if I can be home, I'm going to put the work in and shut the door, and it's like I went to the office. That's the mentality that you have to have.
We don't have we haven't discussed this previously, so you haven't heard this yet. But I'm gonna add one more comparison metric. All right.
I like it. Let's go.
When it comes to telesales or in-home sales, what requires more self-discipline?
Oh, telesales. Telesales.
That might be shocking. I think.
Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
Yeah, I thought so.
We're in it, right? Like, I think most people listening to this podcast or are not sure or they haven't experienced it would have thought it would have been the other one. Well, man, I got to pack my bag. I got to leave home. Or, man, I got to go, actually get out and knock on my first door. But I would agree with you. But can you tell like a quick why? Because I know we're probably already over time.
Because once you're out, you're out. Once you're out there, I mean, your kids aren't in the back of the car distracting you.
I hope not.
Hope not. Quiet back there, swatting. Yeah, it's not the same. And I mean, there's if you're gone, the distractions are already gone. But when you're in your home, your normal everyday life is your biggest distraction.
Yeah,
that's the issue. So that you have to pay attention to that. You have to be aware of that. Commitment is the biggest key on both of these. Really, the commitment that you're making to you and your family pull you out of your driveway. Well, the commitment that you're making keep you in your office. those are the two variables.
Man, yeah, it is something else. And one thing, the last section we want to talk about here very briefly as we finish up.
Just fly through
we hope this has been crazy value for you guys so you can understand the differences, pros and cons of being in home, why it's good, what are the benefits from it, how fun it is. We've both excelled at it very much. We loved it. The cons, the struggles that we both faced in doing that. And then transitioning to telesales, the things we loved about it, the things that are great about it, things we didn't understand, all those pros, the cons, the struggles. But when we talk about who this is for, our goal is not to convince you to do one or the other.
No.
Our goal is to look at that
objectively. If
you're an in-home salesperson, it may benefit you if you're a relationship-driven agent. You're really comfortable face-to-face sales already. Maybe you are in a rural area or a less saturated area with agents, and you're just going. You can create that local presence. You can create those referrals. Yes. You can go see them. You will thrive in face-to-face.
There will always be an opportunity for face-to-face sales.
On the telesales side, if you're thinking, well, wonder if telesales is the right for me, maybe you understand tech and you can utilize the CRMs, the AI, and you're not afraid of high activity.
High rejection, high activity.
High everything, right? Like you can perform fast. On an extremely high level. If you like flexibility, if you're not afraid to work when you're at the airport, when you're not afraid to work and close that door and buckle that seatbelt and be at home, if you can get in a few dials on a family vacation, the income is unlimited with that ability. If you're an agent, if you're part of an agency or in an area where there are a lot of agents, or maybe you're an agency owner looking to scale and grow something massive, it can scale huge and fast looking at the telesales. So trying to give you guys a little comparison of in-home sales and of telesales.
You can make a lot of money in both.
Yes.
That's for sure. Again, it's ultimately comes down to your goals and your commitment levels. If you got questions, we'd love to answer them. I would love to hear from you guys. I mean, this will generate pretty good conversations. I think if you want to throw them down in the chat, I call it the chat, but it's not a chat. Comments. Throw it down in the comments. We'd love to chat with you in regards to that. And if you have questions about our telesales bootcamp, and maybe you are a face-to-face agent and you're saying, hey, I want to check this out. It is the one thing that we do offer with direct coaching from us, Whisper Technology. We got one coming up September 9th through 11th, I believe, for Life Insurance Academy. It's on our website. You can go to lifeinsuranceacademy.org and sign up. We're excited to be able to do that and offer that to you guys.
If you haven't been on the website in a while, it just got revamped. It's really cool. There's a lot of cool features. We got a new CRM. We got new lead options.
Yeah.
We have a whole bunch of cool stuff. Come check it out. Join us at one of the boot camps. We'd love that. And the last thing, for the love of everything holy, if you haven't subscribed already and you got any value,
the kid.
Do it for Chris. Do it for Chris.
The boy's just asking for a subscription. Yeah, check it out. It's that simple. Well, Thank you guys. We love you.
I appreciate you guys and have a great day. We'll catch you on the next Life Insurance Academy podcast.